Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are focusing on, well, a really critical part of the supply chain, but it's one that's almost always invisible. We all know truck drivers deliver basically everything, your food, medical supplies, probably the device you're even listening on right now. But that whole huge logistical feat, it really leans on this often unrecognized support system back home.
That's exactly it. That's the core of the material we're looking at today. The industry has Driver Appreciation Week, which is great, but our sources, they make a very deliberate shift in focus. Our mission here is really to dig into the data, the stories that center on the spouses, the partners, the kids. These are the people, really, who make the driver's job even possible. They're the essential partners, even if unofficial, in every single delivery across the country.
Exactly. We're not, getting into the weeds about diesel engines today. We're diving deep into the mechanics of a whole professional lifestyle. And when you really look at that lifestyle, well, the sheer amount of sacrifice involved, it falls just as much on the people holding down the fort, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Just as much as on the person actually behind the wheel.
So let's start with maybe the most obvious challenge, isolation. I mean, life on the road means days, sometimes weeks away from home. When that distance kicks in, what do the sources say? What actually, keeps the driver focused, keeps them from burning out?
Well, what's really crucial here, and the sources spell this out, is that emotional connection isn't just like a nice to have. It's treated more like essential infrastructure, almost like a specialized comms tech, you could say. It's not just a random text message here and there. It's scheduled calls, video chats. These things provide the actual reason they're out there driving. One source even points out for drivers on really long hauls, getting a video message maybe from their child saying, "We're proud of you,"
Yeah.
that acts as this immediate constant anchor. It reminds them of their purpose.
That makes a lot of sense, anchoring the why. But okay, the support, it quickly moves beyond just the emotional, right? It gets intensely practical. The family isn't just sending good vibes. They're literally managing the entire household completely solo for long stretches. That sounds like an incredible administrative load.
Oh, it is. It really is. The sources, they highlight how the non-driving family member is effectively running like a single-parent household and a small business all at once. They're taking on roles that are normally shared. We're talking CFO, paying bills, the maintenance crew fixing stuff that breaks, the homework tutor, the main household organizer, all while their main emotional support person is, hundreds or thousands of miles away, just constantly switching hats.
And doing it without the visibility that the driver's job gets. That level of effort just vanishes, largely unrecognized. Do the sources give any sense of, the sheer amount of unpaid labor this generates?
They do, yeah. They frame it more as logistical overhead. There was research suggesting that on top of just managing the home stuff, the partner back home often handles all the driver's schedule logistics too. Booking appointments when they might be home, coordinating mail, prepping for sudden returns or, unexpected delays. This specific kind of logistical juggling, it often adds up to something like 15, maybe 20 extra unpaid specialized management hours every week, just to keep the professional side running smoothly from afar.
Wow, 15 to 20 hours, that's like a part-time job right there.
Basically, yeah.
So that structural demand, it leads us right into the unseen cost of this whole lifestyle, the sort of constant grinding opportunity cost. We know milestones get missed, but how do the sources describe the cumulative weight of being separated for so long, so often?
Yeah, that raises a really important point about the social fabric of these families. It's not just missing one birthday, right? It's the pileup effect, the constant absence. Kids growing up where their main interaction with a parent is through a screen, FaceTime, Zoom, whatever. And the sources really point out this takes enormous emotional fortitude from the whole family. Resilience isn't optional. It's baked into the system. It has to be.
It just sounds utterly exhausting. Does this kind of lifestyle, does it lead to higher rates of burnout or maybe resentment among the family members left managing everything?
Absolutely. The material definitely acknowledges the immense stress involved. Managing this reality, day in and day out, it demands extraordinary strength and grace, often without any of the public recognition that other service roles might get. And the core analysis really is this. Because the family adapts their entire life structure around the driving jobs, school schedules, holidays, everything else, they are just as fundamentally part of the trucking industry's success as the drivers themselves. Their sort of silent management enables the driver's productivity. Their effort really deserves to be seen as essential labor.
Okay, let's broaden this out a bit now. We need to connect that sacrifice more directly to, you listening right now. We've established the family's crucial role, but why should someone tuning in care about, say, the person paying the driver's light bill back in another state.
Because this whole system, it really functions as a massive nationwide team effort. That's a phrase used in the sources.
Mm.
Think about your morning. Did you have coffee?
Right.
Put on shoes. Get a package delivered this week. That convenience almost certainly involved a truck, which means it required a trucker family to give up their own precious time together. They are essentially trading their personal, non-renewable family hours for the country's logistical flow, for your convenience.
That framing is powerful, trading family time for national logistics. And within these families, the sources shine a really interesting light on the kids, the children of truckers, sometimes calling them little superheroes.
Yeah, and what's fascinating there is the kind of distinct psychology these kids often develop. They tend to learn responsibility, patience, and this deep sense of pride very early on. The sources use that really evocative image, that these kids might sleep with toy semis instead of teddy bears.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's not just a cute detail. It shows how deeply that professional life gets woven into their personal identity. The road kind of defines their reality.
That suggests a completely different daily rhythm compared to, say, a typical 9-to-5 family structure. What does that rhythm actually look like day to day for these kids?
Well, from the moment they wake up, often the first thought is, where's mom? Or where's dad today? They might track the truck on a shared family map app or send pictures and drawings from school that get instantly beamed into the cab of a semi hundreds of miles away. Bedtime stories might happen over video call. This whole structure, it's really a sophisticated coping strategy. Their hearts, as one source beautifully put it, are sort of beating in sync with every mile driven. They're relying entirely on technology and routine just to maintain that emotional presence, even with the physical absence.
Okay, so if we accept they're vital, they make huge sacrifices, and they're largely unseen. Let's pivot to the really practical stuff. What can we as consumers or maybe industry partners actually do to show some appreciation, to recognize these specific heroes back home?
Right. The sources offer some really concrete, actionable ideas, all aimed at making these families feel visible. For individuals, even simple gestures, like sending a thank you note specifically addressed to the driver's spouse or child, maybe through a company's communication channel if possible. That can make a huge difference. And for companies,
Yeah.
prioritizing things like trucker family spotlight features, on social media, in newsletters, it's crucial for shifting the story beyond just the person in the cab.
I like that focus on the emotional impact, just making them feel seen. But what about practical relief? Since we established that the non-driving partner is shouldering this, 24/7 load, what kind of hands-on help is most recommended?
Yeah, recognition absolutely needs to help alleviate that administrator burden you mentioned. So the sources strongly recommend community efforts or company initiatives that provide real practical relief. This could be organizing care packages tailored to the family's needs while the driver's gone, or even more importantly, offering support services. Things like coordinated babysitting exchanges between families, maybe grocery delivery credits, or even offering free professional help with yard work or minor home repairs, things that just take tasks off their plate.
Right. That kind of practical support actually gives them back some of that time they sacrifice. So the significance of these gestures isn't just a friendly pat on the back. It's about showing these families that their enormous, often silent effort is genuinely seen, appreciated, and vital to how our whole logistical economy actually works.
Exactly. To just sort of summarize the main insight today, professional driving isn't an individual job. It's really not. It's a collaborative lifestyle that fundamentally shapes and relies on entire families. Behind every single on-time delivery, every stocked shelf in your local store, there's a family sacrifice, a sacrifice of time, of convenience, of just being together. They really are the heart of the trucking life.
They are. They're the quiet anchor, the stable home base that every driver is always, always aiming to get back to. Their patience, their incredible organizational skills, that's what ensures the wheels keep turning for all of us. So next time you see a truck out on the highway, maybe give a little wave, not just to the driver, but remember the whole team effort. Remember the families keeping us all rolling. And maybe ask yourself, what other essential but structurally invisible support roles are underpinning the key industries that you rely on every single day? Thanks for joining us for the deep dive.